Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Fumble Live on this hump day. I cannot wait to get into this first need to know news. I'm just going to let you guys know right now because we're going to be talking about Russell Westbrook. And I know some of y'all think ill of him, but you are wrong for that. We're also going to be talking about Richard Sherman. He's got a new home. I'm excited to talk about that as well. I am a little concerned, and I'm going to tell you why. But before we get into all that, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, that notification bell. Give this video a thumbs up. Share this video with your friends. And now here is the Fumble Squad. I'm your host, Jackie Ray. You can follow me on all things social media at JRay the Fanatic.
It's your boy Chris. You can find me everywhere at CK2K. Jackie Ray. Happy hump day.
Hump day. Look, Ryan, I see you in the chat. He said, "Morning, y'all. Who Dat Nation?" I don't know if you can see, but I got my Saints. Got my Saint. You see
yes,
the logo?
Sir. Who that? Yes.
Building. Yes, I'm excited. We might have been like just a few seconds late. I had to vent to the squad. I had an issue yesterday, so I appreciate y'all being here for me and letting me vent and talk about that. So if I'm hyped all day, just know it's just in my blood right now. But I'm excited to talk about this first need to know news. Chris, did you see the Lakers media day yesterday?
I saw bits and pieces. I watched Melo's to entirety. I listened to a little bit of LeBron's, but that's about it. I saw some of the shenanigans behind the scenes, but so I saw bits and pieces of it.
Yeah, I was hugely disappointed with the fact that they asked them so many vaccine questions. It was so annoying. But
really, it wasn't just LeBron?
No, they asked everybody. Like, because they asked LeBron specifically. I don't know if you saw. They asked him like, "Well, with your stature, don't you think you should speak on the vaccine?" I'm like, bro, if y'all, the man is not trying to save everybody. He's not here for. Stop it. Anyway,
he said that straight up.
With that said, I appreciated him saying that Russell wasn't going to have to change who he was. So with that, let's get into our first need to know news story. We're going to talk about Russell Westbrook. Like I said yesterday, or yesterday, LeBron said that Russell's just not going to have to change who he is. They brought him over there because of who he is. And I thought that was really important because I know a lot of times people give this weird, really super negative connotation to Russell that I absolutely positively do not think he deserves. So I was glad to hear LeBron here say that. I'm also really excited to know that he didn't do this whole James Harden super pouty thing or Ben Simmons. Well, he can never do Ben Simmons because he actually scores. So never mind about that one. But I'm glad he didn't like do the whole let me be like whatever and let me kind of be this diva, to get out of Washington. It's the exact opposite. And I'm super excited about that. This is another hash mark in the column of how dope and an amazingly good person Russell Westbrook is. So the Washington GM, Tommy Shepard, he said that he needs everybody to know that Russell Westbrook was completely professional in the situation. So let me throw up this first asset and show you what he said about that, because I think it's amazing. He says, I really have to make sure the record is straight on that. Russell actually never asked to move on. He just said, if I can get to the Lakers, that'd be something I would love to do. If not, I'll be back here. I think that is the perfect way to phrase it. Like, look, this has been a dream of mine. I'm from LA. I would love to get back to LA. This is where I want to go. If I can, that's cool. If not, I'm cool with y'all. I'm going to rock with y'all. I love that. I think that's absolutely who he is as a person. And I thought that was super dope that the GM decided to come out and make sure that we know that. While I was reading the comments about this story, I just want to digress for 1 second if I can. I was reading the comments on this story and I saw one that I was like, that's a great point. I didn't actually think of that. Chris, I want to get your thoughts. So, Leo, if we could throw up that next tweet. It says, Russell Westbrook adds another year to LeBron's basketball career at minimum. LeBron finally doesn't have to do everything, just get assists here and there and score in clutch time. Chris, I want to ask you about both. I don't think, from what I know how you feel about Russell Westbrook, I don't think you're surprised at the fact that he was like, yeah, if I can get to LA, that's cool. But if not, are you surprised by that at all?
Oh, no. That was a very Russell Westbrook way of handling it. I mean, look with Oklahoma City. I think a lot of people believe that he was at Oklahoma City for a year too long, but that's just who Russell Westbrook is, especially for a town like that. And we also heard about his relationship with Bradley Beal, so it was more of a situation where he wanted to be there for Brad so he can at least have a chance to compete, because last season was one of the Wizards' best seasons in a long time, since possibly maybe when John Wall was healthy, and that was how many years years ago, 3 years ago. So no, it doesn't surprise me at all. And I feel like that's the best way to handle it. Like, you have your destination, especially being on the far east, so it's not going to affect the Wizards at all. So I think that, and shout out to the Wizards for even giving him his props, because a lot of the times they won't paint that picture. So I just feel like all around it's like a perfect situation. So no, I'm not surprised at all, and I think it worked out for everybody. I think we're gonna see a different Russell Westbrook this season that we haven't seen in a little bit.
So what about that tweet? Do you think that that's an accurate assessment? Because when I thought about it, I was like, that sounds like that might be right. Do you think that Russell will add another year to LeBron's career because he can dial it back a little bit?
I think that's just the beauty of having all of these vets. I think all of these vets together, because of the type of vets that they are, they're not just, on their way out old guys. These are all superstar, all-star level in their prime veterans. I think that's just what it's going to be for all of them. I think Carmelo Anthony is going to get another boost in his game this season. I think Dwight Howard, who, had played okay in Philadelphia last year, is going to have another boost in his year. I think Russell Westbrook is going to have the same amount of boost that LeBron's going to have. All these guys are going to be able to lean on each other, knowing that they're all going through the same thing on where they're at with their bodies and how they have to work on, how they have to adjust to this younger game. So I think it's just going to be all across the board for all of these veteran guys. So yeah, I definitely think this was a good tweet. I think it makes sense.
Yeah. So I do want to throw out one more, because I have to throw some shade. I want to just throw a little bit more shade because I didn't realize that Kawhi and Paul George were at the football game on Sunday, but that SoFi just did not put them on the screen because they just did not want to shade. And so Russell Westbrook took his own little bit of shade, because when he was asked, okay, well, since you want to go to LA, would you consider the Clippers? And he said, hell no. So that's that tweet right there. He absolutely, positively would not consider the Clippers. No surprise there at all. But tell people why you're not surprised, Chris.
Well, because and Paul George is my guy, but unlike PG, Russ ain't gonna be no flip flopper. He knew he had that relationship with Kobe. That he's about that. So like you said, it was Lakers or he's staying in Washington. What does that tell you? You'd rather stay in Washington if he couldn't go to Lakers. So I think I'm not surprised by that response at all. That just sounds like Russell Westbrook for sure.
It definitely does, and I'm excited for him. I know you didn't see the entire press conference, but when I tell you, everybody seemed super happy, super excited.
Yeah, I saw that.
They talked about, that chemistry building in Vegas that they did last week. And then Russ and Andre, they did a video together, and Andre was like, look, we're double zeros. And Russ was like, no, I'm the true zero. Back your camera up. And then they kind of laughed at it. They've already got like this whole, chemistry going. I'm excited. Regardless of what happens, I'm super excited. I did really love what LeBron and basically everybody kind of echoed on, even Russ echoed in the press conference, and that was their thought to get vaccinated had really nothing to do with like, okay, whatever's going on in the world politically. But they said when you're on a team, it's about sacrifices and it's about being healthy. Yeah. And if this is going to help us to be healthy for our team, then that's a sacrifice that we need to make, which I love that, because it kind of implied to me that, especially when Melo said it, like he might not have really wanted to take it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, he was like, okay, this is definitely a sacrifice I'm going to have to make for my team just to make sure we don't have some of the issues that we had last season. So just that whole let's make sacrifices for each other, I thought was super beautiful. I'm excited to have Russ here. I think for the first time since 2003, when LeBron entered the league, I'm going to buy me a NBA jersey that is not LeBron. I think I'm going to get me a Russell Westbrook jersey.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Respect. But yeah, to that point, like you said, I love what they were all saying with that, because they know they're probably going to be going through some lumps anyways this season, because it's their first time all being together, a lot of veterans, so a lot of them might be missing games at different spots. And that Carmelo Anthony was talking about that. He's like, so we want to control the things that we can control. And, like you said, even though this is not something that he wanted to do, it's about, trying to be, there for the guys, be there for the team, and be, control everything that they can control. And I respect that, and that's to say, like, even people who don't want to get the vaccine, like, I'm not going to shame them for making that decision. Like we're saying, just understand what's going to come up. Because if Kyrie Irving, when the Nets, if they don't have the record that they're expecting, we can't. I don't want to hear no excuses because Kyrie, you know the decision you made. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of players, and that's what I loved about yesterday. With more of the media days coming out, a lot of the players were really open and really honest about, even though they didn't want to do it, they did it because they understood the assignment and they had to do what they had to do. So yeah, like we talked about yesterday, just the question was going around the entire league. So yeah, LeBron's answer, I loved it, and yeah, I love what Melo had to say about that too.
Yeah, I'm just excited for everything that I saw during the press conference yesterday. But now let's move on to our next need to know news. I saw Kevin Lang in the chat. He was like, why are we talking about this? Because we are. Because actually, I think both of us here on the show really like Richard Sherman and who he is person. You're not really like him? You don't really like him?
I have a personal story about Richard Sherman. Yeah. So his family actually lives out in Orange County, live over by Yorba Linda, and they bougie. They go in there, they expecting things. And at the time my girl was working at the local supermarket that they go to, and they forgot some onions. And they made her go and get the onions, man. And it happened a few times where they instead of them going to get, they're like, "Oh, can you go pick that thing up for?" Yeah. And they know that the Shermans, they got their whole bedazzled Seahawks jersey. So yeah, and Richard Sherman came in, and it's a whole thing. To a personal level, I was like, "Oh, damn." So okay, so I'm not crazy about Richard Sherman because now I know him personally as that. Like, okay, so he's not all right. So yeah, he's all right. He's cool.
His mom a couple of times I used to go to amateur boxing, and I don't know why, but I don't know if she's affiliated with Floyd Money, but every time Floyd Money hosted a amateur boxing, she would be there. And every time she would see me walk in, she'd be like, she never remembered my name though, but she'd be like, "Hey girl, hey, come sit with me." And she was always super nice to me. So to me, that was a reflection of Richard Sherman. But that's what you just never know about people. So
yeah,
I did not know.
I guess it was just that you're right. I nothing against Mama Sherman. It was just it's just Pops and Richard themselves. Those two, man. I don't know. I just the two run-ins I had. I'm like, oh, okay.
I can see that about Richard. We do remember some of his sideline interviews. I could definitely see that about Richard Sherman.
Right.
He has a new job. Yeah, he has a new job. Last week, the Rams handed him that business. The defense was on point for the Rams. That's why Tom Brady was out here cussing, looking all kinds of mad. The defense for the Bucs, however, didn't do very well. Matthew Stafford passed for 4 touchdowns and 343 yards. It was insane. So obviously, I think they're wanting to beef up their defense a little bit. I don't know if Richard Sherman at 33 is that beef up, but, they got him. So they went and they got Richard Sherman, and now he's on the team. And he had a quote. He said, I went with the best offer I had, the best opportunity to go out there and put some great tape on. And when he says best opportunity, I'm like, did you have a bunch of opportunities? Anyway, so he says, I feel comfortable and confident in my abilities to go out there and execute and help the team win. Obviously, I have a ton of love for the faithful and 49er fans and the 49ers front office at that team. A lot of guys and a lot of friends I'm still rooting for and cheering for them throughout the season. Obviously, still have a lot of friends with the Seahawks as well. So he also went on to say he couldn't pass up this opportunity. He was weighing out his options with his family and his wife, and Tampa Bay just seemed to be the best place. And he says, I'm ready to strap back up and go out there and show these old legs still have some juice. Do they, though? Chris.
I'm just saying, I don't know. He wasn't great in San Francisco. I feel like we're not talking about that enough. But at the same time, too, we're seeing a lot of these cornerbacks, like older quarterbacks, 33, 34, 35. I'm looking at Jimmy. Oh my gosh, from Baltimore, whatever his last name. It's gonna come back to me. But he's balling out of his mind right now. He's hella old. I'm seeing Chris Harris Jr. With the Chargers doing his damn thing. Like all these older cornerbacks are doing their damn thing. I just don't know if Richard Sherman is that. But if we can talk about with the Lakers, maybe just that veteran, got Tom Brady as your quarterback on one side. So then, maybe it'll put another year on Richard Sherman. I don't know. We'll see. I'm with you. I don't know if he has that juice. I don't know, but we'll find out. They do need the help. So I'm sure anything is better than nothing. So we'll see what happens. I'm not too confident in it, but maybe that's just me being biased because I hate the Buccaneers. So who knows?
Right. But I mean, you said, let's talk about how he was in San Francisco. But the truth is, he started declining with the Seahawks.
Facts. Very
His
true.
level of play started going down. So this isn't like just
Facts.
with the 49ers that he's been declining. Tom
Right.
Brady does have that way of pulling out whatever you got left in the tank, pulling it out
For
and
sure.
putting it in the forefront. So maybe things are different, and maybe because they have a relationship, it will work. He talked about that on his podcast and how he was recruited to the Buccaneers. So I'm going to show you that really quickly.
Well, you know, he reached out through he reached out initially, you know, to just check to see if I was in shape. You know, he and I had a relationship over the years, and you know, he's a great guy, you know, very encouraging. Obviously, like you said, we had our history, but you know, what happens on the field stays on the field, and off the field, you know, I think we have a very solid relationship. And I think we both, you know, thought it'd be really cool if we had an opportunity to play together at some point in time. You know, obviously with our situations, it didn't seem likely.
Tom Brady is for real the GOAT, because let me tell you what I'm not going to do. You get in my face, and they showed the picture when Richard Sherman basically followed him to the damn tunnel and was all in his face being mad disrespectful. Guess what I'm not going to do? I'm not picking up the phone and calling you and being like, hey, I know you was a douche to me.
But you wouldn't respect that type of crazy to a little bit like, yo, man, you know what? Because who else? Somebody in the NBA talked about that. Like, if they Kobe, like with the whole Metta World Peace and Matt Barnes situation, like if you crazy enough to talk like that to me, oh, I got all your respect. You got to come and play with me. So, you know, I kind of see it to that kind of a degree come from Tom Brady. Like only like the great players will have that kind of like, you know, mindset, because I agree with you. But then at the same time, now I'm thinking like, you know what? Yeah, like if you going to be that crazy against me, I can't even imagine how it's going to be for me now that you're on my side. So to that, I think I understand the mutual respect.
I mean, I could see that. I am a person who loved Metta World Peace. I was all for him going in the stands and punching that fan. I was with it. I was cheering him on when he did that. So maybe I'm being a little hypocritical, and I love Antonio Brown. So maybe I'm being really hypocritical. So let me walk that back. But I do have one other concern, though, and that is his mental health. We are just maybe a month and maybe 2 months out from him having that situation where he tried to beat the door down to get to his father-in-law and then threatened to commit suicide either on his own or suicide by cop. And then we just went silent on that. We haven't heard anything else about that. Like, what is he doing for his mental health is what I'm concerned about. Now, on the flip side, if Tom Brady can help the mental of Antonio Brown, I'm sure he can help the mental of Richard Sherman. So maybe that's a non-factor. But I just, that always bothers me. When you start talking about suicide, there's a big problem there. And to not hear how he's addressing that, are you at all concerned about that?
Well, maybe that's part of the reason why he gave him that shot. It was very similar where like Antonio Brown was at his bottom, you know, and it looked like no team or nobody was going to give him that chance when, you know, he still had a lot left in the tank, and Tom Brady invited him into his own home. You know what I mean? And I feel like this is a similar thing to just, you know, feel wanted, because that's a lot of the time something that's really big when people have that, you know, reach that rock bottom to make decisions like that. So I feel like almost just reaching out to want him to be a part of this, and then, you know, everything else that's going to follow with it. I feel like that's possibly could be a big part to help him, you know, take the next steps and, you know, feel better, you know. So no, it doesn't concern me. I think Tom Brady's doing the right thing, if anything, to help, you know, show that, because now he's going to be around dudes and it's a whole thing. So I think this is going to help more than hurt. Excuse me.
Well, we shall see. If it doesn't work, not mad at it. The more they fall in our division, the better for who that nation. So I don't wish ill, but I don't want it to work. Let me just be honest. I don't want it
on
to
the
work.
field. Yeah, I don't give a damn. Like I'm no sensitivity on the field. I don't give a damn. They can lose all the games in the world. They can have the kumbaya behind the scenes. That's cool. But on the field, as long as y'all keep losing, I'm cool. That's it. No. Sorry here.
That is the perfect way to go into the post up.
Ladies and gentlemen, on this hump day, we're going to post up with your boy Chris, and hopefully I'm not here on my my freeze, but I ain't doing that today because I don't know what was happening yesterday. But we're gonna start off with Ben Simmons and Clutch Sports. Now again, I think I'm just gonna embrace taking the road less travel when it comes to this Ben Simmons thing, because I feel like the disrespect is just getting a little too heavy on Ben Simmons. I hear it. I understand it, but now I think it's just going a little too disrespectful. And Clutch, they kind of agree with me, and I don't normally agree with Clutch too often. Love what they do, but I don't normally agree with Clutch too often. But Clutch, they believe that Ben Simmons, wherever he goes, he should be the primary main guy on the team that he goes to. According to NBA Central, Clutch Sports wants Ben Simmons to land on a team built around him. Per Kevin O'Connor, NBA. League sources say the primary motivation for Clutch Sports' aggressive holdout is to steer him to a team built around him on offense. Now, I'm sure you can bring the clips up of me saying just that. I said you need to have a Dwight Howard type build when it comes to Ben Simmons on your team. Surround him with a bunch of shooters. I know people are using the example of, well, he had Seth Curry, he had Tobias Harris, Danny Green. That wasn't no shooters. Yeah, but you still had Joel Embiid. That's why in situations when Joel Embiid was out or when Joel Embiid was subbed out, you saw Ben Simmons jump up a little bit. So in a situation where he's on a team by himself, surrounded by this kind of scoring, I really expect Ben Simmons' numbers to be back to where we were expecting them, or where a lot of people think that they should be. I will stick my ground on that. I'm not going to jump on the full meme train when it comes to Ben Simmons. I know I'm possibly going to be alone in that. But Jackie, the other part of this with Clutch wanting to do this, it kind of sounds like he's going to end up going to a rebuilding team. And that's the only part I'm like, that's kind of rough. So, like, unless he does get a trade to the Portland Trailblazers, which I think is long gone, but maybe it ends up being, like I've been saying, like a Sacramento Kings, where he gets moved for De'Aaron Fox or Halliburton or whatever, one of their guards to go and play for Sixers. And then we know the Kings ain't good right now, but maybe that's better for Ben Simmons. Do you agree with Clutch's reason of holding out and trying to get him to a team where he's the prime focus? Or you think, and I think you've been saying this, so I think I know your answer, or you think he's better off going to a team where he can be with somebody else that's just not Joel Embiid, but at least have a Robin to his Batman, or be the Robin to someone else's Batman, or hell, even be Alfred to someone's Batman or Robin? I don't know.
I think Ben needs to be in a plug-and-play situation. I think he needs to go to a team that's just missing one element, and he specifically fits that element. I don't think a rebuild is going to really match his ego, because when you go into a rebuild situation, you have to be, I mean, obviously if it's a rebuild, it takes some time, but you still have to be the caveat to have leveled up that team a little bit. And if Ben doesn't go in and instantly level up that team, if he is the Ben that we know him to be now, I'm not entirely convinced like you are. I'm not convinced that he goes into a situation without Joel and we're going to see a 100% night and day difference than we see right now. Because I think that when you are competitive and when you're professional, you figure it out and you go out there and you make something happen and you take those shots in a game that you take in practice. And he hasn't done that. So I'm not entirely sure that we're going to see a different Ben Simmons. I think he needs to go into a situation where they say, this is his skill set that he has outside of shooting. This would fit great in our scheme. Let's put him here. I don't think you put him in a rebuild because I just don't know if he has it in him personally.
Okay. No, I understand that. Like I said, I get both sides. I think I'm just going to put my money more on. I think he could. The dude's still young. We saw him do it at such an early age. I feel like I understand the playoffs, but I feel like his sample size when he did not play with Joel Embiid, it speaks volumes, because his average is completely different when he played compared to when he played with Joel Embiid. And I love what Kevin's saying, and that's something I didn't even think about. And I know that you're trying to be funny, you're trying to meme it, but it could be a good idea if you flip him for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Get my man Shai out of purgatory in OKC and let him go compete, because Shai would be dope with Joel Embiid. So, and then let Ben Simmons get his little rebuild and get his little shooters or whatnot, and everybody wins. You know what I mean? So I know you're trying to be funny, Kev, or maybe you're being real, but you might be onto something right there. I actually like that, if that is the move. I actually like that. But yeah. Yo, he'd link good with Sexton, so you're saying flip him for like Darius Garland. I don't know if they're gonna move, but yeah, okay, I understand that. I think that's I don't think there's a wrong answer. I think mine is probably way more of a possibility of being wrong. I think you might be right, but I just believe that I feel like we're we're slaves of the moment, and because of that rough playoff run, we think that is all that Ben Simmons is, and we forget what he started his career with. So I just think that there's still more there, but I could be wrong, and I have been in the past many a time. So we'll see. Let me know what you guys think in the chat. But yeah, we're going back to the Los Angeles Lakers media day, like Jackie and I were talking about to start off the show, and like we mentioned, LeBron James was asked about his vaccine situation, and LeBron answered it quickly, and he answered. I liked his answer. I had no problem. Him and Damian Lillard are probably my two favorite answers when it comes to all this whole vaccine talk. But yeah, we can talk about it. We can read it right here. Ben Golliver, you guys know about him. He said, Lakers LeBron James, who confirmed that he is vaccinated, explains his hands-off approach to the vaccine advocacy. He says, it's not my job. But to more detail, I'm going to read some of this. I ain't reading all this. You can go watch the video. There's a whole thing you can watch on YouTube of LeBron James press conference. But Lakers LeBron James, who is vaccinated, explains his hands-off approach to vaccine advocacy. He says, I can speak about myself. I think everyone has their own choice to do what they feel is right for themselves and their families. I know that I was very skeptical about – actually, he said I was very skepticism, but we'll leave that alone. I was very skeptical. I was very skeptical about it all, but after doing my research, I felt like it was best suited for not only me, but my friends. That's why I decided to do it. And that echoes the what we were saying earlier about them doing it for each other, for the team, for one another. And I think that's right. He then goes on to say that, it's not his job to tell you, whether you should take it or not. And I agree with that. I think that's just the kind of culture we're in right now where people, they'll follow suit from what their favorite celebrity or their favorite person does. And I feel like that can be ill-minded in some situations. This is something that, it's up to you. It's your choice. But just understand the positives and the negatives of it and what you're going to have to do if you don't do it. And in the NBA terms, that's Kyrie Irving. You ain't going to play your own home games in New York. You only play half the games. So, like I said, I don't lean one way or the other. I understand everyone's decision. For me personally, like LeBron, I did it because I had to do it. Work-wise, family-wise, I got family and kids to worry about, so I'm going to do it, for them and friends and stuff like that. So, Jackie Ray, this is your boy LeBron James. I know we talked about it briefly, but then we moved on to Russell Westbrook and stuff. So, as far as LeBron James saying that, that's not his job to be, telling people what to do as far as a vaccine, do you agree or do you disagree? How you feel about that?
I mean, I 100% agree. I was offended by the question. Because the way, I don't know if you saw how the reporter phrased it. He's like, given your stature, don't you think you should say something? Don't you think you should stop asking me these dumbass questions? I mean, come on, man. Like, I'm LeBron James, and I love the way he handled it. He said, when we're talking about something specific, like when we're talking about police brutality and racism, yes, I'm going to speak out on those things because those are things that are very specific. You want me to tell people what to do with their bodies? I'm not doing that. And I was like, and then he circled back. He's like, yeah, but, and LeBron was like, I'm not doing that. And I'm like, and then they asked every single player about the vaccine. And it was, I felt like it was rehearsed because the first question was always, Mike Brown. And he's like, how you doing? It's good to have you back. Da, 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 da. And then the very next question was, so now that you're vaccinated, what do you think about? And it's like, I think the same thing that you asked everybody before me. Stop asking me these stupid questions. The reporters just need to do better. That's all I'm going to say.
But yes, and we get it. Like they trying to get their damn soundbite. They trying to get their damn quote because then makes them a little bit. Yeah, I understand. And like you said, LeBron James handled it perfectly. And I love Dame's response. I don't know if we're going to talk about that today at all, but if you haven't seen it, go check out Dame's response to the same question. I love it. But yeah, I completely agree. These guys are trying to get their damn sound bites and they're ignorant for it. Anyways, but yeah, so that was LeBron James. Love that. But to a lighter note in the same Lakers media day, Rajon Rondo had a very funny response. As you know, Rajon Rondo is coming back since his run with the Los Angeles Lakers, getting the championship. He then took the year off, and he went all across the world. He was with Atlanta, then he went to the Clippers and all kinds of situations, and now he landed right back home with the Los Angeles, temporary home where he won another championship with Los Angeles Lakers. And he had some fun. Actually, I'm not sure. I think he was having some fun with them, but it kind of looked real. But I think Rondo's just trolling when the reporter said that the former Lakers and LeBron James and AD guys that were playing with him before, they really miss him. They're really happy to see him back. And here was Rajon Rondo's response.
Right.
LeBron and AD specifically talked about how much you were missed last year. I'm wondering, did they play a role in?
They said that. Give me a second.
I missed you too, Rajon.
Oh shit.
But did they?
Stupid.
I
I thought that was funny. Rondo's the best. Yeah, Rondo's the best. I'm really interested to still see how he fits on the team, but definitely the leadership in practice and all that stuff is going to be definitely needed. But yeah, that was a fun little moment there. Not all vaccine and stuff. Also, one of my favorite moments too, because you were talking about the media day. You said you saw the entire thing. So Carmelo Anthony, when he was talking to James Worthy, they're talking about the relationship between him and LeBron James, and he was like, "Yeah, it was always, we talked about it. It was fun and whatnot, but now, it was real. LeBron asked me to do, and LeBron's acting. Look how excited he's, like, right behind him. LeBron James, like, they're dancing while he's answering the whole entire interview with James Worthy. I was like, yo, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see, like, the rivalry has been so much fun throughout their entire career. But both, not on the way out. Sorry, Jack. I didn't mean to say it to you. But at least Melo, his game going down just a little bit. I'm excited to see them play together. And I really think that, Melo's going to have a step up this year just playing with LeBron James. Those practices, I would pay to watch some of those practices where they're guarding each other. Like, that'd be crazy. That'd be crazy.
Like the little kid. I would watch under the door. I'd be fine with that. Just give me a little pillow. And I'd just be like, oh, this is such a deal. Like, I would
seeing them guard each other in practice.
My Carmelo Anthony book will be here on tomorrow.
You did it. Nice. Nice. Yeah, I need to get on it. Yes, because I'm really excited to hear about it. I actually have a homie that does have it that's in New York, and he said it's great. You got to get it. I'm like, all right, I'm going to get physical. I was thinking about Audible. I'm going to get physical. I got to have it. I'm going to get a physical one. So shout out to, and also to number 7, New York bestseller, top 10. Go ahead, Carmelo, do your thing. Number 7 for number 7. Okay, so moving off of the NBA Media Day, specifically Lakers Media Day, Manny Pacquiao. I gonna be honest with you, I thought he was already done, but allegedly he's officially done. He's officially retiring after posting this on his Twitter. To the greatest fans in the greatest sport in the world, thank you. Thank you for all the wonderful memories. This is the hardest decision I've ever made, but I'm at peace with it. Chase your dreams, work hard, and watch what happens. Goodbye, boxing. And for those who have a Facebook account, go make sure you watch that 14-minute little what's the word I'm looking for? It was like just a whole thank you to boxing and what it's done for him, what it's done for his Filipino community and all that kind of stuff. It was a really cool little video. I had to find my Facebook password for that because I don't use Facebook like that, but I did want to check it out. You saw it?
I have not. And I hope my Facebook password is saved because...
Yeah. It might be on YouTube, but the link was Facebook. So I was like, damn, all right, I guess I got to watch it.
Well, didn't he get beat up the last fight? So I guess it makes
last
sense
few fights. Yeah. That's why I was surprised. I didn't know he was. I thought those last few were like charity and stuff. Nah, they were real fights, and he was just trying to get back in. He couldn't do it. Yeah, so. Oh. Yeah, me too. But hey, shout out to Manny Pacquiao. He's definitely one of the best. Growing up, watching, getting into boxing, watching Floyd, but then I kept hearing about Manny Pacquiao. Watching the dude was quick. So, R.I.P. Not R.I.P. Lord have mercy. Congratulations to. I'm here killing Manny. Manny is very much alive. God.
Manny his whole spirit went. Wait, what?
I just killed him. I'm sorry, Manny. No, congratulations. R.I.P. Lord have mercy. All right, look, I'm waking up. Can you tell? I'm waking up. Anyways, yeah, congrats to Manny Pacquiao. Go check it out. It's on Facebook. So from Manny Pacquiao and boxing, we're going to go to the football field. And one of my favorite young quarterbacks, well, he got humbled a little bit in his Week 3 loss against none other than the Dallas Cowboys. I'm talking about Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah, it was a rough game. It was a rough game. I sat there with some of you guys may remember Matt, who worked here on the Fumble. He's a diehard Eagles fan, so I was there watching it with him to support him because I like Jalen Hurts, and it was a very, very ugly game. You guys saw it. It was ugly. It was an ugly game all around. And Jalen Hurts, as you'd expect, was asked about it and how they were going to move on and what's next. And he gave some might think it was a very crappy answer, but I thought it was pretty good. He said, you take you a deuce, you don't sit there and you look at it, you flush it and move on. We're going to flush it and move on. I don't see a problem with that. He's right. It was a very Well, it was a very shitty loss. So you got to put that thing down, toilet, flush it away, and move on. So I don't see the problem with what Jalen Hurts had to say here. But his teammate, second year player Jalen Reagor, the other Jalen on the team, he wasn't handling the loss so well. Jalen Reagor is the wide receiver that they drafted last year, second year wide receiver. I was wondering why he wasn't getting the ball in that game. There was some instances where he hasn't been doing much at all this season, according to a lot of Eagle fans. But Eagle fans going at him. You know how Philly gets. Look what happened with Ben Simmons. Now, the Eagle fans are going at Jalen Reagor, and he got that KD time. He got that Kevin Durant time to answer those DMs. So here's a nice little back and forth he had with this guy. He said, if you get 13-plus fantasy points, I'll buy you a Big Mac. You suck, man. Wow. And he said, F you. Drop your addy. Yeah, doing all the talking. Y'all talking fans talk too damn much. I'll knock your soft ass out. And then he said, man, relax. You're not gonna get a Big Mac talking to me like that. Like this is what I call the troll zone. Like this man has you, Jalen Reagor, in the troll zone. I don't understand. I don't care how angry you are. I don't know how celebrities, athletes, how people do not see when they are entering the troll zone. This man has won. You responded. That was your first loss. And then after this man responded the way he did, you still kept going. He was lost in the troll zone. He then said, yeah, now it's relaxed, bitch. I'll beat you the F up. Drop your addy, soft ass. I'll end all that bitch ass talking quick. And then, like I said, and this guy wins. He said, man, aren't you 5'10"? You better relax, or I'm telling you, Sherman. Wow. I don't know if you guys know Sherman. He's the in front office of the Eagles. Yeah, like Kevin Durant, I have a problem with Kevin Durant doing it, but he's a frequent flyer of the troll zone. He's in there all the time. But the minute this man said, like, relax, or you're not gonna get a Big Mac with that, like that was it. I'm like, you lost, Jalen. Stop, don't respond. That's what I would have called, like me knowing me, and like if I'm that hot and I respond to somebody, seeing that response, I'd be like, damn. All right, you got me. And I responded with like an emoji or something like that. And I was like, all right, GG's or something like that. Because I knew that this guy's going to either share it out. People are going to get a laugh at it. So I got to bring this back around and, make sure I get the last laugh. But the fact that he kept going, it's like, Jalen, come on, man. Like, and you ain't even all of that to be doing. I'm sorry. I don't mean to throw more shade on you, but you ain't even all of that to be talking this mess. Like, he ain't all wrong. I don't know. Jack, you feel a type of way? This is just stupid, right?
The thing is, though, he had to go to his request messages to see this. Ain't no way in hell him and this dude is friends. So that means you had to take time to go over there, read it, accept the request, and then respond.
Yeah.
I should just do a scroll through, especially whenever I'm on KFI, because KFI is a super conservative station, and I don't know why but they got me on there sometimes. And every time. I don't know why they got me. Okay, I praise the Lord for it though, but I'm definitely not a fan favorite over there. But every time I do that show, I'll go and I'll look in my inbox, and then there'll be like 15 messages in my request box. And do you know what I do? I go over there, delete all. I don't give a damn what you said. We ain't friends. Amen. Why would I read that? Mm-hmm. I hope nobody over there was offering me a bunch of money, but just in case, I'm not.
You know what? I'm gonna go off on a limb and say I don't think somebody was. I think you all right.
Because it messes with my psyche, because I am the person that I got time. So if you say something out of pocket and I read it, I probably am gonna respond, and then I'm gonna be caught up in this mess. So delete all, sir. You don't have to do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the initial call, like that might have been the 15th one he read, and he just had enough. Some people just can't not read about themselves. So that might have been the 15th one. He just had enough and he just went off. Like, I'm tired of these suckers saying all these things. But then the moment that he responds, that's the part where I'm just, that's where I have the most beef with this. You can clearly tell he is messing with you, and you still are feeling the type of way. You continue on, like, you lost. You lost.
Those big fingers. You got big fingers, and you got this little phone. You're like,
right,
what, sir.
Right.
Like, what
he backspacing all the time. Like, God. Stupid phone, like, you just there upset. Voice. I don't know, man. Oh, God, yeah. So shout out to that fan. Fans win yet again. Trolls. Sorry, not fans. Trolls win yet again. Athletes take another L. And it is speaking. We're going Jalen to Jalen to Jalen, and all three are different Jalen's, from Jalen Hurts to Jalen Rieger. Now we're talking about Jalen Ramsey and Tom Brady. There was a dope moment post that Rams Buccaneers game where we saw mutual respect between Ramsey and Tom Brady after the big Rams win on Sunday. And it was a cool moment. I shout out to Paramount Plus. You know, they've been getting a lot of these behind the scenes moments, and they've been sharing them online. It's really cool. Still don't have an account yet, but yeah, I see what y'all doing. I might consider it. But yeah, this is a cool moment between Jalen Ramsey and Tom Brady. A lot of mutual respect between the two guys. Thank God.
Appreciate you, sir. Itches. I was, right? Hold it just a little bit longer next time. No. Gotta get rid of that thing. Hey, man. Take care. I respect you so much. Take care, man. I just love playing against you, man. Yeah. It's an honor, man. Appreciate you. All right, Dennis. All right, man.
You could tell Jalen, like, the way he walked up, he had that when you walk up to somebody and you're just like, hi, Mr. Brady. Like, he had that look, and he wanted to say to him, like, man, you know, it's such an honor playing against you. Like, a shot, like, and you know, I get it, you know, because this is a walking legend right now that's still playing at a high level. Like, you got to understand, especially when it's another superstar on the other side, and Jalen Ramsey. Like, I get it, but it was just funny how the way he walked up, and it's like he know what he wanted to say, but he's like, oh man, all right, this is my moment. I got to say it. I really enjoy playing against you. I always have a good time playing against you. So it's an honor. Like, it's just the way he said it, I thought was really funny. But that was cool, man. Mutual respect from the two guys. You know, they haven't really played too much in each other's career because he was in Jacksonville and, you know, a whole bunch of situations. But I thought it was really cool moment. All right, no hate, respect. What happened on the field's over. Now you have your respect, move on. So I'm with it. I had no beef with that. Nice little fan moment. So I'm not going to end post with something I'm not going to do. That's a first. So Jackie, I'm gonna need you to fill me in on what we not going to do because I need some help.
Oh, is it time already? All right, let's get into what we not going to do. I was just chilling.
You was enjoying. Yeah, no, that was.
I wasn't ready, but I'm ready now. Now look, I'm gonna let y'all know right now. Today's not the day for me to be talking about this topic. Okay, I'm already angry about stuff, and I'm gonna do the best I can to not just, you know, Tasmanian devil out because this pisses me off. But let me get into this. So, let's do a big. Oh no, you don't say. There's a racist white guy who plays hockey. What? No. Yes, I know none of us are surprised, but this one is just. It's mad out of pocket. So you see it right there. It says a disgusting gesture in the UHL was made towards an American Jalen Merrick. This is embarrassing and pathetic for hockey. He needs to step up here. So let me just kind of fill you in the situation. So there was a penalty. This guy, I don't even care what his name is because I don't care. The white dude felt some type of way about how the black guy, the penalty that he received on the black guy, from the black guy. So while he's over doing his thing, he decides to do the typical thing that we see all the time in hockey and soccer and refer to the black guy as a monkey. So let me show you this moment in time. Take a look.
Нікіта Буценко спробував. А Андрій Денискін за расизм має бути покараний. Я думаю, це будуть розглядати. Це питання. Там Джейлен Смерек був поруч.
So, first and foremost, I am very much team knock the hell out of somebody if you can. This is hockey, right? So, y'all can fight until you fall down. Jalen, you should have went over there and just smacked the hell out of that man. I'm tired because here's Jalen. This is who he is. So
his name's Jalen too? Sorry.
It's a Jalen day. I was just going to say that. It's a Jalen day. This is Jalen. He's the only black guy out there, so he's an easy target. And, you know, white folks feel some type of way about having this sport that they dominate, and then here comes this one black guy. We know this because it happens all the time. We see this level of racism all the time in hockey, NASCAR, which to me isn't really a sport, it's a skill set. But, you know, nonetheless, NASCAR, hockey, and soccer, it happens all the time. And then, of course, and this is what really pisses me off. I'm tired of these leagues not taking immediate action. Here's what I think should happen here too, henceforth and forevermore. You do a racist act, we ain't investigating a damn thing. You're gone. Period. You're off the team. Not off the team for a couple games, you out. Good luck. Hope you and your agent can find you another team, but you're not going to play here, period. I don't like this. We're looking into it. What the hell are you looking into? There's video. What? Right. Sorry, what are you looking into? This makes no sense. But the reason why everything, when we're from police to sports, the reason why everything deserves an investigation is because they're trying to investigate how they can protect their own. That's all that is. So then they're like, okay, let's figure out some way where he can issue some fake ass apology that'll appease people for a while. Maybe we'll suspend him for some minutes or maybe a game or something like that. There's no real intention to really lay the hammer down on people who are racist. There's no intention in this country or beyond, because this ain't even here. This is a Ukraine hockey team. There is no intention to put the hammer down on racism. None. And you know how I know that? Because it hasn't changed. If there was really intent, and I hate when people say, oh, change moves slowly. No, the hell it doesn't. No, you ain't never heard a farmer say, you know what? It's going to take me a long time to get them damn weeds out. They go in there and they snatch them up. Game over. We're moving on. Change doesn't happen slowly unless you want it to happen slowly, because you're connected to whatever negativity or whatever is happening right now. That's how this works. And I'm tired of it. And of course, and then his let me get to the team again. They said they're looking into it, and they said, we have no place for racism on our team, and we're looking into it. What does that mean? You're just gonna watch the video on repeat? What? I don't understand that. But then he issued an apology, and his apology, now y'all know I hate fake apologies, but as fake apologies goes, this is the worst. He says, I know I made a gesture that some would consider an insult in race. The emotions got the best of me, but I respect all people regardless of their race or nationality. Okay. I'm going to tell y'all this, and I mean this when I say this. Black people, I ain't talking to nobody else. Y'all, everybody else can feel how y'all feel about it. I'm not talking to nobody else. I'm just talking about black people. We were owed our 40 acres and our mule. If we'd have had that, we could have built our own. We wouldn't have to deal with that. They didn't give it to us. However, we can still build our own. And this is why I think that's so important. I really believe that black people need their own space where they can be safe, where they can grow stuff, they can build their own businesses. They don't have to worry about going out in a hoodie and some Skittles in their hand and get shot by some racist troll that's walking down the street. They don't have to worry about having their hands up and getting shot by police. They don't have to worry about going wherever and dealing with any kind of racism in that society. Yes, you're going to have to go out into the world and deal with it. But my dad always told me, when you come home, your home should be your sanctuary. And I think there's safety in numbers. And we need to find a place where this man, Jalen, could have come home, because you know that affects you. Because there's nothing you can do about it. And you know how I know that? Because this happened to me. And when you're the one that act out, then everybody comes to you. And now you're the one that's like, okay, but he didn't mean it like that. Just let him apologize. There's no win in it for you when you're the black guy who acts out and again, I'm very team knock the hell out of somebody. So especially when you can. Hockey lets you fight. Go fight. I would have knocked the hell out that man, because I can. It's hockey. If you can get away with somebody catching hands, let them catch hands. If you're going to go to jail, don't let them catch hands. But I'm just saying, sometimes the best way I learned some of my lessons as a kid, I only got 2 whoopings in my whole life because I didn't need any more than that, because it only took me twice to learn. Sometimes people need that. That's what I'm saying. I'm not promoting violence. I'm promoting ass whoopings. That's all, So that's all I'm going to say. I'm just tired of this in our country and people saying, oh, I'm sorry, we're looking into it. Stop looking into it. Take action or get the hell on. That's all I got to say. Chris, you got anything to say about this?
Yeah, I had a little bit more than 2, and I was really proud of myself because it was under 5. But 2, that's really impressive. That's really, really impressive. Yeah, because I was the same way. I was a kid, like I understood. Nope, not doing that no more. But my brother was the knucker. Remember the one I was talking about? That he's smart but he's stupid. The one I was talking about. Yeah, he was the one. Yeah, that man. Yeah, you can count on probably a whole classroom's hands how many times you got whooped. But anyways, yeah. When you said that this was a Ukraine league, I'm not trying to make it any better. That makes sense because they're still very behind on that, because we see it in soccer games, we see it all the time across football, whatever you want to call it, and that's what's so frustrating about it, because when they had an opportunity to do something about it, they pull that same BS that we're gonna check the tape, we're gonna mull it over kind of BS, and that means all they're doing is buying this some time for people to forget, and then they're gonna make the whatever they decide to do not that bad. They're gonna give them like a little $5 fine or some BS like that. So yeah, it's very disappointing, because that's why they are still so behind on stuff. And then for his response, for his apology, for whatever he had to say, that's BS. To get that all the way hell out of here. But I don't know. I have no words on this because at first I thought this was here. So I'm like, yo, we got to talk about this.
Jalen's from here.
Right.
Jalen's American, but this was in the Ukraine.
But the league is in Ukraine. Yeah, that's still whack. I'm not saying it's any better, but I'm saying that that's the reason. I feel like that's a huge part as to why that nothing's gonna come from this. So I completely agree. Knowing where you are, knowing the situation. If I'm Jalen, man, like I'm a peaceful dude. But that's the moment where I would lose my mind, knowing that I'm not. No one's gonna have my back. To be completely honest with you. So and you're in hockey, so more times than not, people are gonna be with you on that because it's hockey. Right. People want that kind of. They want that kind of action. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. And watch that dude. That dude probably played his next game too, huh? He didn't miss any games, did he?
Yeah.
Of course.
This happened 3 days ago. He played, I think, yesterday when I saw it. So yeah, no. Yeah. They don't. So. And this is why I say it's important for us as Black people to live together, because then at least you can. There's power in numbers. At least you can go someplace, like you said. He's out there all by himself. No one has his back. But at least if he could go home to a place where he knows people would have his back and right. can look at him and say, well, what you want to, how you want to handle this? Because we all gonna ride together, and that's what we need. We really do need that, because I'm telling you, racism isn't much better in this country. Let me just be clear. We just cover it up better.
Right, for sure. That's the problem. That's it right there. Boom. You just hit it right there. Better covering it up.
We cover it up better. But we ain't no better than the Ukraine, like at all. So I'm not trying to make it seem like we just leaps and bounds better when it comes to race in Ukraine, because we are not. Sadly so. So Black people, find every Black person you see as you walk down the street, make sure you say hello, say something nice to them, because we really got to start lifting each other up. Because when I tell you we all we got, I mean that. That's all I got to say about that. We gonna wrap up the show on this hump day. I'm gonna go finish being mad about something else, and then we'll be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends. Follow me at JRay the Fanatic. Follow Chris at CK2K, and we will see y'all tomorrow morning. Y'all be safe. Ooh, wrong man. And Manny Pacquiao is alive and well.
He is alive. Manny, bye. Congrats.